Hi, everybody. Tony from GLAAD here with the cast, the queens of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17.
Category is H2. Oh my God.
Lexi, I want to hear it from you. Tell me about queer culture and the drag community in Louisville and how your drag has evolved there.
Well, the queer community in Louisville is actually very young and hip and fun, and it reminds me a lot of the girls that I'm competing with. I think that's what helped me really pop this season, what made me a great candidate for this group of girls and to be a part of this cast, because I finally have that type of influence in my life. I started my career in Cincinnati, Ohio, and it's a little bit more niche and a little bit more old school. So getting this type of influence and getting this type of impact has really been an amazing thing for my life.
Your story is really something that we're going to be getting to know a little bit this season. You've overcome so much really tough circumstances. Would you say drag is part of your story of survival?
It is literally my survival kit. If I can help give any other person, child, kid, young, hopeless mind out there this same survival kit, I am going to show them how to use it in this season.
You're not only surviving, you're thriving, my love. It's so good to see you in this cast. Lydia, hello.
Hello.
In there.
I don't know, am I?
You are a quote, absurdist, unique queen. Please unpack that for me. And what's the message you're trying to send with your drag, your look, your aesthetic?
I love things that are stupid. I want to see the hot glue strings show. I want larger than life on a massive stage. And the message, I don't think that there is a particular message that I have with my drag. It's just doing whatever you want and whenever you want to do that. I find the most value in drag that doesn't take itself too seriously, something that's just very stupid. I like something stupid. And if you have a chemical burn, cover that up with a face mask.
Your drag and your aesthetic is freedom.
Thank you.
Suzie Toot, you are a professional tap dancer, among other things, whose drag look is inspired by the roaring 20s, as we see right now. How are you able to bring those two things together?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the merging of the two things is a lot of the reason for my success and the reason that Suzie Toot is so recognizable and has such a thing to it. Because tap dancing originated in, it's the true American dance form from the 1920s. There's a look that goes along with it. And I've seen drag queens tap dance before, but I had never seen drag queens tap dance in the style of Eleanor Powell and Ruby Keeler and the greats. So they go hand in hand for me. Top hats and tap dancing, it just makes sense.
To the House of Dubois, Arrietty, tell me a little bit about your drag style, give it to us, and how you expect to make your drag mother proud this season.
Yeah, I expect to make her proud because I'm good at what I do, which is look good. As you can see, it's very fun.
Period.
Very My aesthetic is, the elven deity, but like if you drop them into the Matrix, like just
Ooh.
Very dark, but very glamorous, very tea.
Sam Starr, over to you. You're from Leeds, Alabama, I read, just outside of Birmingham. What's the drag scene and how have you been able to evolve your craft there?
Well, as you can see, I like to represent for the country queens in the world. This is like homage to the pretty girls I wanted to be when I was growing up, but I was like the weird gay kid. The drag scene here is definitely old school, pageantry based. We love glamour and glitz and all the fabulosity, but I'm excited to be able to represent Alabama. I think I'm the first queen living in Alabama to be on the show representing. So it's such an honor. I know Trinity is also from here, my drag mother, and it's amazing that we're gonna continue this fabulous legacy.
Lana Ja'Rae, our New York City queen of the season. I just saw your drag mother, Luxnor London, in Drag the Musical a few days ago. I want to hear how you're approaching this season and making it your own and making sure that your house is well represented as well.
So I'm approaching this season trying to be as happy as possible. I feel like during Lux's season, a lot of people really gave her a rough time. So I wanted to really transform my journey to make it more of like a happy, joyful experience for everyone involved. And I hope to make my house proud by just doing what I do best. I mean, I already made them proud by making it on the show. So now I get to just make them smile even more by being even more amazing and beautiful.
From New York to LA, Acacia Forgot. You're a multi-hyphenated diva. How would you describe your drag? What qualities of your craft would you say makes you unforgettable?
I think the most important thing to me is music, specifically country music, bluegrass music. That's something that is woven into the fabric of my family, and it's something that I had a guitar in my hand before I could even walk. Another part of my style is very 80s. I don't know if you could tell, but this is an 80s reference. I think merging 80s and country is not done very often. I don't think that's very forgettable.
How are you able to weave the two together, do you feel?
80s and country music are pretty much the only two personalities I have. So when that's all you have to offer, I just force it upon the audience and they just have to kind of take it.
Kori King, describe your drag, how your drag has grown these last few years in Boston, and how you're approaching going into this season.
I think my drag has grown very quickly since when I started two years ago. I feel like my drag is very irreverent. I think it's very just like, I acknowledge that I am a huge Black man in a wig. And I really embrace that. And I love to be a clown. So I think clown is the best way to describe my drag for sure.
I think the clownery will get you very far this season. So, Miss Onya Nurve, talk to me about the drag scene and the community there in Cleveland and how you've been able to evolve your craft there over the years in Ohio.
The drag scene in Cleveland is wonderful, honestly. Like, there's so much different type of entertainment here. Obviously, like, there's a huge pageant scene here. The Kings are doing their thing. There's a huge alternative scene. There's a lot of drag that comes from Kent State, which is like a college in Northeast Ohio. And also, burlesque is bigger, if not just as big as drag in Cleveland as well. I think I was able to just kind of like find little bits and pieces of all of these pockets and use it to my benefit and be the bad bitch I am, honestly.
And that you are, absolutely.
And I thank Cleveland so much.
To the West Coast now, Joella, with pride for your Chinese heritage and family, you are a self-described Silesian diva. What do you want people to take away from your style and your creativity?
I want people to know that even if at times you may be scared to show who you are and to really connect with your roots, it's still good to go back and do that. Because growing up, I was bullied for being Chinese. People would make fun of me for speaking Mandarin in public, and it made me shy away from it and kind of whitewash myself in my drag. I feel the most powerful when I'm representing my heritage now.
Over to my Tampa queen, Jewel Sparkles. Tell me a little bit about your drag from your own words and how you plan to showcase the pride you have in your Puerto Rican and Cuban heritage.
Oh my God. First of all the comments that I have been receiving from Puerto Ricans and Cubans, like, okay, Puerto Ricans and Cubans are some of the harshest drag critics in the world. So the fact that y'all have accepted me means the world. So thank you. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. I love you guys. And yes, my drag is very look-based, very performance-based. I'm gonna give you what you want to see. Okay. Visually, I feel like my drag I get inspiration from Priscilla Presley, the 60s. Ariana Grande is a huge fashion inspiration for me, and fashion dolls like Monster High, Barbies.
Hormona Lisa, take me to Chattanooga, Tennessee, the drag culture there, the queer community, the thriving queer community, and how you've been able to evolve your drag.
Honestly, a lot of people think Nashville for drag, but Chattanooga has good drag too. We're really like sort of a pageantry sort of vibe. But then also we have some alternative performers. We have campy girls, that's myself, and we have dancers too. It's like a little smaller, but it's very diverse. And I think that just helps like everybody, the scene, to sort of evolve and to take inspiration from each other because everybody brings something different to the table. And I think that's really where the magic happens with drag.
Our New Jersey diva, Crystal Envy. I would love to hear you describe your drag and your aesthetic. And you really started out as a makeup artist just not too long ago.
I've actually been doing drag since I'm like 13, 14 years old. I was little bedroom baby queen in high school. I started with makeup. I would steal my mom's makeup, MAC concealers, and my sister's little Forever 21 outfits. I have a younger sister, and I would get myself up in drag. I stopped doing drag when I turned 18 to pursue my career as a makeup artist. I've worked on some of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, like Dolores Catania, Teresa Giudice, and some amazing other faces. And then once COVID hit, I was a little slower with clients because there weren't, events happening. I decided to dive back into drag full force in 2020, and I competed for some pageants. I won one, and now I have on RuPaul's Drag Race season 17, which is really, really fun. I would say my drag is a more is more kind of production. I like to give a lot of shows. I love a good reveal, a good stunt or two, and if I can put more on, I'm probably going to.